is next.
Preparing to take on the 21st century, making it Saturday at 7.
This is Channel 7 Eyewitness News with Greg Hurst, Roz Abrams, Sam Champion with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast, and the Eyewitness News team. Now, Eyewitness News.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Roz Abrams. They kidnap women off the street. They rape their victims. They rob them. They are probably the most terrifying gang ever to invade Long Island. And to police, they are a tough, elusive enemy. NJ Burkett gives us the latest details in a live report from Hempstead. NJ.
Roz, they are heavily armed, extremely violent, and they bring their victims here to Hempstead Lake State Park in Hempstead, Long Island. Detectives say 3 women are believed to have been robbed and gang raped here in the past 3 months. In every case so far, the women were grabbed at gunpoint, dragged from the streets of Flushing, and driven 20 miles east across the county line to Hempstead Lake State Park in Hempstead, Long Island. Here, according to police, the women were gang raped by up to 5 attackers, and then driven back to Queens, where they were forced to use their ATM cards and robbed of hundreds of dollars in cash. The attackers are believed to be members of 2 violent Korean street gangs known as Fu Chin and Korean Power. Last month, police charged 5 alleged gang members in one of the attacks and alerted officers on Long Island about the others.
We've produced an advisory for local police departments on Long Island, just describing the facts and circumstances as they were made known to us, and putting them on alert. We've also advised our patrols that cover all the state parks in Long Island, but particularly to keep extra attention to Hempstead Lake State Park, and we've increased the amount of patrol coverage in that area.
Amid stepped-up patrols, some say they still feel vulnerable.
We come here a couple of times in the fall, a couple of times in the spring. I hate to be afraid of coming here because of something like that.
Detectives say the war against Asian gangs is such a major battle, in part because so many of their victims are too terrified to come forward. And we're live tonight in Hempstead, Long Island. NJ Burkett, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Another concern on Long Island raises questions about an abandoned well in Great Neck, a well a teenager fell into yesterday. 16-year-old Robert Levine was dramatically rescued from the 60-foot well in a vacant lot. That well is now covered and barricaded. The teenager is in North Shore University Hospital with serious injuries. Kathy Wolf is there now with a live report. Kathy?
Well, Sirius is right, Greg. The teenager broke his back, and he is partially paralyzed, however, not completely paralyzed, and the doctors are hoping for more improvement in the weeks and months ahead. As the young man continues to recover, there are a lot of questions tonight about the well where the accident took place. Heavy metal plates now cover the 65-foot well where a teenager broke his back. And on a nearby tree, the village of Great Neck has posted a notice of violation. But the penalty may seem weak compared with the magnitude of the damage. It only requires the owner of the property to reimburse the village about $500 for securing the well. Meanwhile, Robert Levine is still not sure if he'll ever have the use of his legs. Last night, he underwent nearly 6 hours of surgery on his spine.
The operation went very, very well. So far, there have been no problems. We're guardedly optimistic. We did see some improvement in the electrical activity of the spinal cord, which we measure during the operation.
The property is owned by a man named Parviz Zarabi, who we could not reach for a comment. But yesterday, he did talk about what happened on his lot and about the wooden door, which at one point covered the opening. One official with the village of Great Neck said the owner told her yesterday that he wasn't aware there was a well on his property. He says he'd driven by the lot after the demolition company had cleared it, and he wondered why they'd left a door. The demolition company is named Fulaski & Sons. No one was available today for an interview, but according to the building permits, the company was hired to do the work. It's not clear now if any action will be taken against the company. Now, as the family of Robert Levine waits to see if his paralysis will be reversed, there are questions about whether the wooden door ever covered the opening at all. This emergency medical technician talked to the injured teenager on the way to the hospital.
Well, he was basically a very scared young man and worried. He said he was walking with his brother, and the next thing you know, he just fell down the hole, and his brother said he was gone. He didn't know where he went at first, and then they looked down and heard him screaming, and he ran to the school to get somebody to help him.
All matters under investigation. Now, the existence of that well was a real surprise to the village of Great Neck. That property's been surveyed a number of times. There's never been any mention of a well. And what's more, wells are extremely uncommon in the area. This one was a dry well or a catch basin for rainwater runoff. Building officials theorize that it must be very old. In any case, the Nassau County District Attorney's Office is now investigating to see if any criminal charges are warranted. We're live in Manhasset, Long Island. I'm Kathy Wolf, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
In Plainfield, New Jersey, police are searching for answers tonight after a bizarre hostage standoff. For 18 hours, police sealed off the streets around the mansion where Mark Masters was believed to be holding his elderly mother-in-law. Masters shot and wounded himself this morning as police stormed the house. They found his mother-in-law's mutilated body next to an axe. Autopsy results are expected tomorrow, but police believe she was dead before the standoff began. Masters is charged with 7 counts of aggravated assault for shooting at police. He is hospitalized tonight in stable condition.
An emergency situation at a hospital in Rahway, New Jersey, where the closure of its pediatric unit has some residents upset. Jay Scott is live with the reasons and the reaction. Jay.
Roz, here at Rahway Hospital, they say they are smack in the middle of a community crisis. The state health department has recommended the closing of the pediatric unit here and elsewhere, and very few people are very happy about it. Not too many smiles at Rahway Hospital today. The state health department wants to cut out the pediatric unit here and at 19 other hospitals statewide. The move makes way for streamlining into 3 super hospitals. The plan has upset doctors who worry that one-on-one community-based medicine would disappear.
I feel that it will dehumanize the whole system. You know, I think it'll make
That's key.
That's key. To me, that's very important in medicine, especially in pediatrics.
The thick state report says small community hospital care is less efficient and costs more than big regional healing centers. At Rahway, they do not operate at 100% capacity, so they are targeted for closure. Chester Komorowski brought his son to Rahway instead of Newark's giant university trauma center after the boy was injured in a wrestling match. He likes the personalized care. Is he happy about the state's decision to shut this unit?
I don't understand it. I'm tongue-tied. I really don't know what to say. I don't know who even would think of a thing like this to cut back on whatever they want to cut back for. Okay?
Make you a little angry?
Angry? Aggravated. Very aggravated. Okay? Disappointed.
The hospital has launched a public relations push to save the pediatric unit. Parents back that push almost unanimously. Carbon Altuniga's 5-month-old daughter Melissa has been bleeding internally. The mom is determined to track the course of the testing step by step to find out why.
The smaller the hospital, the better it is for me, you know.
You said it was almost like family.
It is. It is like family.
Well, the State Health Planning Board says it is sensitive to the community outcry that's being heard throughout New Jersey, and they plan to compromise wherever possible. A final vote on these closures set for later on this month. We're live in Rahway, and I'm Jay Scott, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Jay. And a report tonight about New York City hospitals is also alarming. The average emergency room wait is now 3 hours, and the Health and Hospitals Corporation study also says budget cuts have left hospitals dirty, overcrowded, and understaffed.
Healthcare insurance is a major issue in the presidential race, and there may soon be fewer candidates talking about it. Senators Bob Kerrey and Tom Harkin are reassessing their campaigns after weak showings in yesterday's primaries. While the others in both parties, there was cause for celebration.
We're doing well. We've won everything. We're going to keep on winning everything.
And last night's showing, which matched New Hampshire in 5 days, not 10 weeks, means we're going all the way to that convention.
The people who have presented themselves as having a coherent plan for change and presented themselves as outsiders to Washington got most of the votes last night.
Among the Democrats, Governor Bill Clinton of Arkansas is best positioned for Super Tuesday next week, when 11 states select Democratic delegates and 8 states name Republicans. They include states with big delegations: Texas, Florida, and Massachusetts, the home state of Paul Tsongas. On the Republican side, Pat Buchanan is concentrating on the South, encouraged by yesterday's 36% showing against President Bush in Georgia. Clinton, as expected, showed strength in Georgia with 57% to 24% for Tsongas. But in Maryland, where the Bush-Buchanan split was 70-30, it was a different story for the Democrats. Tsongas over Clinton, 40% to 34%.
For me tonight was a breakthrough. that I'd been accused of being a regional candidate, and now by winning Maryland and winning Utah, we finally put that issue to rest.
Former California Governor Jerry Brown was a distant third in both Maryland and Georgia, but thanks to Colorado, he kept himself in the overall picture and requalified for federal matching funds by edging out Clinton and Tsongas. And tomorrow, Senator Bob Kerrey is expected to say whether he will stay in the race.
And which candidate will best represent the needs of large urban cities with diverse ethnic populations. Last time around, it was Jesse Jackson's Rainbow Coalition. And as Doug Johnson reports, this time it is not so simple.
At Columbia Presbyterian Hospital, Jesse Jackson joined with Mayor Dinkins and other politicians and union leaders to kick off a voter registration drive. 4 years ago, Reverend Jackson was running for president. He had some primary wins under his belt, and the Rainbow Coalition was moving forward. Now, with a confusing Democratic race and issues often obscured, where does the Rainbow Coalition stand? Is the urban agenda being addressed?
We saw yesterday a rather low turnout. I think that narrow messages bring about narrow turnouts, and that attack and counterattack ads do not inspire people to get involved in the process. One would get the impression, watching the ads, that we're not in a state of economic emergency.
With different Democrats winning on different days, there is some confusion as to who minority voters should back. One influential New York union backs Clinton.
We think that Governor Clinton understands the cities, the urban cities. We think that he has done a commendable job in Arkansas.
Tom Harkin had a lot of minority support in New York, but his campaign seems to be on the fade. Some don't know where to turn.
It's very confusing at this moment, and we are sitting back and seeing what develops, and at the appropriate time, when it comes out back to New York, we will be taking a position.
Minority politicians say the Rainbow Coalition is still effective. They say that the voter registration drive will prove that. As far as who to back, minority Democrats are in the same position as other Democrats. Things are so confusing right now, they don't know who to back. At Columbia Presbyterian Hospital, Doug Johnson, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
And in the middle of all that confusion, there is this. Some analysts say that if Bill Clinton continues to get the kind of minority support that he got in Georgia, that would be a very good indication that he is the heir apparent for what has traditionally been a block vote among blacks.
New York City may be an heir apparent to the legacy of the Wild Wild West. We'll show you how a single highway may be New York's greatest enemy in its fight to control guns. It's our special report, The New York-Virginia Connection. That's next.
And a little bit later on, two rapists are preying on students at a New Jersey college. We will have the very latest on the search for the attackers. And if you are searching for the best ways to control your misbehaving children, stick around. We will look at discipline in our special report, Becoming a Better Parent. That's a little bit later on Eyewitness News.
Tonight, one of the movie's most popular characters comes to television.
I'd like to be an archaeologist.
He's young Indy.
I've joined the Mexican Revolution.
In one of the most talked about new television series of the year. From adventure to romance, he lives a life others only dream of.
I love you.
George Lucas presents the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
And stay tuned for Eyewitness News at 11 right here on Channel 7.
The testing lasted 2 years and yielded gasolines that are clearly advanced. Exxon offers you Phase 4, gasolines that give you the highest level of engine cleaning for high performance and lower pollution for cleaner air. For a cleaner engine and high performance, rely on Phase 4 from Exxon.
Hey, which one looks like your beer?
Right here.
That one. This is Budweiser. Here's COORS Extra Gold.
Oh, man, just goes to show you.
58% of Bud drinkers preferred COORS Extra Gold in a taste test.
Think they're right. Looks like a better beer.
And guess what else?
What?
COORS Extra Gold was a 2-time winner at the Great American Beer Festival.
I believe that.
Slow brewed for that real beer flavor and color, the way beer was meant to be, which may be why
Gold beats the Bud.
COORS Extra Gold. If you're missing real taste, beer is back.
Well, I'm gonna go get some of that stuff.
Light. It is the first element of creation. Nothing brings it more elegantly or shapes it more beautifully than Andersen windows and patio doors. Come, live in the light of Andersen windows. Come home to Anderson.
3 New York City students have been arrested this week, caught with guns. Not only do metal detectors discover guns, a teacher, a security guard, and police outside a school confiscated the latest weapons just days after a school shooting in Brooklyn killed 2 students. So far this year, 113 guns have been confiscated from students.
No matter how young or how old, it is very easy to get a gun. Tonight in his special report on the New York-Virginia connection, senior correspondent John Johnson travels the road which links New York to an unlimited supply of guns. John.
Well, Roz, as you know, the cops say anyone who wants an illegal handgun can get one. And we've seen the results in our Wild West society. An epidemic of violence fostered by social ills, drugs, and the guns that are pouring into this city from the New York-Virginia connection.
Virginia is a source state for firearms for most of the East Coast. It's one of the few states on the East Coast that does not have any kind of a waiting period. So you can come in, buy guns on the same day, cash on the barrelhead, and out the door you go. No limit on the number of firearms you can buy. You can buy as much as you have money for. New York's supplying Richmond with its cocaine, and Richmond's supplying New York with a big portion of the firearms that are on the street up there.
This is the drug trafficking, gun-running trail that leads to death and violence on the streets of New York City. Interstate 95, the highway of big business, illegal drugs, and black market guns.
You get in your car in Manhattan or the Bronx or wherever, head south on I-95. Virginia is the first state that you'll come to that under its own law doesn't have some sort of a limitation on the purchase of guns.
It was on Interstate 95 in Richmond, Virginia, when we first spotted this car with New York license plates. We followed just on a hunch from I-95 to east on Route 60, then to the Midlothian Boulevard, where the car made a curious U-turn to a side street past one gun dealership to another. There, the occupants of the car went inside the firing range gun shop, where with an undercover camera, I watched as the 4 occupants of the New York licensed car rented 4 powerful handguns and went to the firing range to check them out. Still undercover, I asked one of the gun shop dealers about renting and buying handguns.
But in order for me to rent to just shoot here, I don't have to do that.
When the shop owners began to become suspicious of my questions, I left the gun store to wait for the New York foursome, who had been joined by 2 other men in a white car. When they all emerged from the dealership after more than an hour, we confronted them, only to be chased away by the owner of the gun shop.
I was inside, I saw you. Where are these guys going? Hold it, get these guys here. Where are they going? Are they friends of yours? Why are they hiding their faces? Where are they going?
They think y'all gonna make them hot.
Well, okay, let me ask you a question now. Why are you down here? Are you buying guns?
Nah.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Just shooting there? But why are you all the way down here from New York?
I live here.
You live here?
Yeah.
But why does this guy have New York license plates?
I don't know.
You don't know?
How you gonna
come
put me
on,
on the
man.
spot, man?
No, okay.
That ain't right, for real. That ain't right.
I know,
You know
but
that ain't
here's
right.
the deal. If you're from New York and all that...
Nah, I don't.
We can drive away. Okay, we just
Off
want...
my property.
All right, we're going to leave. Thank
Turn
you
the
very
camera
much.
off my property.
Well, we're not going to turn the camera off.
Get out of here now.
We're going to get out.
Go ahead, guys.
Why was this gun shop dealer so worried about us taping some of his customers? Had they bought guns from him? Guns headed back to New York? Before we could find out, after chasing after the New York licensed car, chasing it into a shopping mall, we were stopped by mall and local police because they thought we looked suspicious. In the meantime, the New York car and its occupants disappeared, heading toward Interstate 95.
This is an epidemic right now. This is not a one-time occurrence. It's not an occasional occurrence. This is an epidemic. We have literally, I'm sure, scores of people, maybe even hundreds of people, traveling up and down 95, trafficking dope and guns back and forth, back and forth.
In Virginia, all it takes is a trip to the Department of Motor Vehicles, a phony Virginia address, and the license is issued the same day. With a license, you can buy all the guns you want. And tonight at 11, we'll show you the straw men, Virginia residents who buy the guns for the bad guys who then head up I-95 in a car filled with death for New York City. That's on Eyewitness News tonight at 11.
We'll be watching. Thanks, JJ. Well, still ahead on this newscast, important news for people with AIDS, which could help their fight to stay alive.
Plus a new reason to get out there and exercise. Dr. Jay Adlersberg looks at what works and what doesn't when you're fighting hypertension. That is next on Eyewitness News.
She's happy with her engagement ring now, but before she found it, 2 separate jewelers sold her stones that weren't all they were cracked up to be.
They inject the stone with silicone.
Ever heard of such a thing? Her story will shock you at 6 right here on Channel 7.
How can it be that an automobile, a mere 9 inches larger on the outside, gives you over 2 feet more room on the inside? Maybe it's the new math. The all-new 1992 Toyota Camry. We just couldn't leave well enough alone.
It doesn't happen overnight. It starts with a few extra expenses. Then come the unexpected repairs, the credit cards. You start paying bills late, hoping for some extra money. Instead, you get more bills, and that's when you panic. Well, a second mortgage from Personal Mortgage Corporation could help. We understand how this can happen. That's why we'll make it easy for you to apply right over the phone with no application fee. Call 1-800-DIAL-PMC so you can get the money you need fast. We'll give you an answer usually within 24 hours to get rid of credit card payments and other bills, or pay for big expenses like home improvements. You'll make one smaller monthly payment, so you'll be able to put money into your savings again. The interest may even be tax deductible. So call 1-800-DIAL-PMC. Don't worry if others have turned you down. Personal Mortgage Corporation. When it comes to second mortgages, we approve.
The Centuries is fabulous, wonderful. I'd like to see the show 2 more times. I loved it so much.
Why? What could possibly be that good?
She is fantastic. Her movements, her dancing, her voice, everything about her is terrific.
So you didn't like her very much?
I loved her. I'm going to see it twice more.
When?
As soon as I could get tickets. My husband works in this area.
Okay.
They're wise beyond their years.
But who will be champion? Find out. Watch the Jeopardy Teen Tournament tonight at 7 here on Channel 7.
Encouraging news tonight about the AIDS-fighting drug AZT. Italian researchers say the drug does help AIDS patients live longer. In their test, 46% of the patients receiving the drug live for 2 years, compared to the 20% survival rate for those not using the drug. The U.S. expert says a study offers proof AZT is effective, but he adds it's still not a cure.
Greg, doctors also have new information tonight on the best ways to treat a certain type of hypertension. 7 on Call's Dr. Jay Adlersberg joins us now with information which could help millions of Americans. Jay.
Roz, in trying to control hypertension, high blood pressure, doctors have a number of drugs to choose from. But doctors don't want to prescribe medication to someone whose high blood pressure is just beginning to creep up, that borderline case. But which non-medication treatments work? A report published today answers that question. Eileen Rosen was at New York Hospital today getting her blood pressure checked. She's one of some 50 million Americans whose blood pressure is at the borderline level. Average blood pressure is approximately 120 to 140 over 80 to 85. And when the lower number, the diastolic pressure, gets in the upper 80s, it's considered the high end of normal.
I don't think most doctors or any doctors would recommend that people with that sort of blood pressure have it treated.
But preventing it from going any higher is what's important, says Dr. Thomas Pickering, a nationally known blood pressure expert. And the treatment that works at this stage is losing pounds and cutting down on the use of salt. Both of these things can work to lower blood pressure in the high normal range and thus prevent it from going higher. A study in the Journal of the American Medical Association followed over 2,000 patients and also found out which treatments did not work.
Close your eyes and just flow with the energy.
Stress management techniques such as relaxation and meditation do nothing for the high normal diastolic blood pressure, says the report, and neither do food supplements like fish oils, potassium, calcium, or magnesium.
I think it's going to reduce doctors' enthusiasm for recommending that their patients take extra calcium or extra magnesium or potassium merely to lower their blood pressure, and focus on the problems of weight management, which is very difficult to maintain over the long term.
We all tend to gain weight as we age, so preventing high blood pressure is another reason for keeping a watch on our weight and our salt intake. Also, keep in mind that both stress management and the food supplements mentioned might have benefits for preventing other conditions. This study looked only at their effects on high blood pressure. Greg and Ross.
All right, good news. Thanks, Jay. And talk about getting a dose of good medicine. This warm weather is just what the doctor ordered.
This warm weather certainly is. Sam is up next to show us just how high the temperatures climbed and where they may go with his AccuWeather forecast.
The day I introduced KFC Skin-Free Crispy Chicken, a UFO was sighted.
They came to save the planet.
Came to melt our brains. I think they came to try the KFC Variety Bucket for just $9.99, featuring my juicy new Skin-Free Crispy with original recipe and tangy hot wings. It's a theory.
They came to save the planet.
Melt our brains.
They came to save...
New Skin-Free Crispy in a Variety Bucket, just $9.99, or a Variety Pack, just $2.99. Juiciest deal in Lake Edna or your neck of the woods.
The 1992 Lincoln Town Car and Continental are the only two American-made luxury cars providing standard dual airbags and anti-lock brakes. So think smart, think safe, think Lincoln. Buy smart at your Lincoln Mercury dealer now.
Promise spread has no cholesterol and is lower in saturated fat than leading margarines.
You make me feel so young.
Promise. Get heart smart.
Awaken to the freshness of Far. Just a drop of Far shower gel pampers your entire body with a satiny lather. Its rich emollients and moisturizers leave your skin silky soft. And the gentle scent of its unique fragrances will invigorate you throughout the day. Which is why Far is Europe's favorite shower gel. Far, freshness you can feel. Far shower gel, foam bath, and luxury soap are available at these fine stores.
Self Magazine says they're as addictive as coffee.
But they're going to be disappointed when they find out it's not true.
Live with Regis and Kathy Lee.
Tomorrow at 9 on Channel 7.
We have this just in. If you're in New Jersey expecting someone home, they may be a little late tonight. Rush hour traffic in New Jersey is a mess. A tractor trailer hauling thousands of gallons of ethyl alcohol is overturned. It's on the ramp leading from northbound Route 287 to westbound Route 80. Traffic is backed up for several miles. The alcohol is being transferred to another truck, and it could take several hours before things return to normal, so be patient.
And you know something, Greg, we have this just in. It is 30 degrees in the studio, so for the maintenance men who are watching the show, instead of the thermostat, turn it up. We can't reach them on the phone. It is warmer outside than it is in here.
Irrepressible
I
ride.
couldn't help myself. My hands aren't working.
Well, for everyone else, it's nice outside. We got into the 50s at a lot of points. Look at the video in town by 2 o'clock this afternoon. These folks were warming up about 52, 53 degrees in Central Park at some points this afternoon. The only places that were cooler right along the shores, as believe it or not, we kicked in a little light sea breeze this afternoon that killed the heating out on the island and on the shorelines as well. Right now we're at 45 degrees, relative humidity at 58%. Absolutely beautiful afternoon. The barometer's rising just a little bit. Weak area of high pressure, but it's doing its job, so we won't say too much bad about it. Southeast winds at about 3 miles per hour, and that light wind is what allowed the sea breeze to develop and kind of push the temperatures back a little bit on the shoreline. Let's take a look at the satellite picture. We'll show you 2 areas that we're watching very closely. One of them, the nice patch of clear skies that seem to be holding on in the northeast right now. It's a very weak area of high pressure, though, and though we said we wouldn't dog it too much, it will loosen its grip and start to move off on the shoreline tomorrow. The other area we're watching with great interest is this large swirling mass of clouds, the center of it really about Colorado. As it spins, well, a lot of moisture up from the Gulf area, it will get bigger, stronger, and a lot larger by tomorrow. What's going on with it now is from about here all the way around, it's rain, thunderstorms, heavy amounts of rain, and sometimes even rain for Denver today, about an inch of rain. San Antonio, Texas came in with about 4 inches of rain in the last 36 hours. Where it is snow, just on the far back end, in the San Juan Mountains of Colorado, 24 inches of snow overnight. So this thing is loaded. It's a lot of moisture to it, and you'll watch it just kind of fan out and take over the Ohio River Valley and some points east of that tomorrow until we finally do probably get into some clouds tomorrow afternoon. Here's the picture, though, of the temperatures today that have been going along with all these clouds. It's still very warm in the southeast, 70s, 80s, and plenty of them to be found all along the Gulf Coast, and some thunderstorms were fired up with that combination of moisture and all the warm air. Kind of looks like spring in some places. Tornadoes even reported in eastern Texas, and that's a couple of them. They'll continue tonight into tomorrow as well. Our situation home, though, right on the borderline. You can see how close that cooler air is. We do manage to squeeze it back a little bit even more tomorrow. I think 24 hours we've got some good-looking weather, but it looks like the clouds will start to advance into the picture by tomorrow afternoon, and that means tomorrow mixed skies is the best we can give you. 39 degrees tonight, so it chills out quickly under clear skies. 39 is the low. AccuWeather says tomorrow, though, the numbers get a chance to come back up. Look at this, 58 degrees, clouds and sunshine tomorrow. Don't think it's going to be as beautiful all day as today was. Sunshine first part of the day, but more clouds as that system in the middle part of the nation grows. Tomorrow night, 44 degrees and patchy clouds. We hold on to that warm air a little bit, but the clouds really will be the picture for the end of the week and into the weekend. We'll talk more about that when we come back with a 5-day, but the warm air is here to stay.
Looking forward. Thank you, Sam. Women at Rutgers University are looking over their shoulders tonight. 3 women were attacked and raped. Another woman was able to scare off her attacker. All of this happened in the past week. Kay Kasuda is live on the Piscataway campus with more. Kay.
Roz, there is concern here at Rutgers for the safety of students after 3 rapes and 1 attempted rape on or near the campus, and all within 1 weekend. Some students say they don't like living in fear. Some students at Rutgers say they're terrified to go out at night after 3 rapes and 1 attempted rape this past weekend.
I didn't go do an assignment the other night because I was afraid to go out. I didn't want to walk home by myself.
The first reported assault took place on the Douglas College campus Friday night. A 20-year-old student was raped by knife point after leaving a bus stop. Later that night, a student jogger escaped an attempted rape in an off-campus park by curling up in a fetal position and screaming. On Saturday morning, a student is raped by a Rutgers student she knew. Police arrested him Monday. And a few hours earlier, police say a woman was raped by an acquaintance at a dorm party. She has not pressed charges. Women students say they're also angry because these attacks show how vulnerable they are anywhere they go.
It bothers me being a girl that I feel I'm violated by all these good things going on.
The only thing I really can do is just be careful, you know, like inform my friends where I'm going to be, and, you know, and make sure I'm with someone when I go out.
There should be guards. The lighting's not very good around here. They need more lights.
Campus officials say they may add more lights in addition to changing escort service routes.
We're looking at, for instance, the route that the escort service takes. Are they happy with that route? Would they like the escorts to go to different buildings? Would they like them to be more frequent?
Officials say Rutgers has security patrols and mounted police. In the meantime, police have released these sketches. This man, described as a white male, 6 feet tall, with a stocky build, 19 to 20 years old, is a suspect in the rape by knife point. And this man, a white male with a dark complexion, mid to late 20s, 5 feet 10, is a suspect in the attempted rape. And students acknowledge that officials can't do much when it comes to acquaintance rape, except to continue their education efforts to tell students that this kind of rape is no less serious of a crime. Reporting live from Piscataway, Kay Kasuda, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
And another tragic story tonight. An 8-year-old boy is facing probation this evening, convicted of gang raping a 10-year-old girl in Decatur, Illinois. Prosecutors say the boy was one of 3 elementary school students who lured the girl to a house and took turns assaulting her. The defense had argued he was too young to understand correct sexual behavior. A jury in Virginia thinks Dr. Cecil Jacobson knew exactly what he was doing. The infertility doctor was found guilty today of 52 counts of fraud and perjury for using his own sperm to artificially inseminate his patients. Prosecutors think he could be the father of as many as 75 children. Sentencing is set for May 8th. He faces 280 years in prison and $500,000 in fines.
And still ahead tonight, a virus threatening millions of computer systems is found on Capitol Hill. We will have details.
We will also help parents wrestling with a big problem: how to handle misbehaved kids. It's a special report, Becoming a Better Parent. That's next. And later we'll take you to an international competition considered the cat's meow for finicky felines.
And Liz Taylor talks on Oprah. We will have her secrets, plus a look back at her long career. That's coming up on Eyewitness News.
I was seeing my parents off, and I realized...
Dad, what do you got in here? Gardening equipment?
They've planned their retirement for a long time.
Common sense says the time to plan for your future is today.
One day, it's going to be our turn.
And Fidelity Investments, America's largest mutual fund company, can help you begin.
Debbie? One day, Jeff sat down to figure out how much we'll have for retirement.
How's it going, Einstein?
Very funny. Take a look at this. I thought we were doing a pretty good job. At this rate, we'll never retire.
Over 2 million Americans trust their retirement savings to Fidelity with choices like Magellan Fund. Magellan's approach to stock investing has made it the #1 performing mutual fund for the past 15-year period. So call Fidelity now for this free booklet, a common sense guide to planning for retirement. You'll also receive everything you need to take your first step. Call 1-800-652-2400. Fidelity Investments. Common sense. Uncommon results.
I hate cleaning twice. Spray cleaner for grease, then glass cleaner for the streaks the spray left.
Don't clean it twice. Cinch it once. New Cinch from Spick & Span. It's the first cleaner that really cleans grease, even on glass, without streaking. Glass cleaner can't always get the grease, and spray cleaners can leave streaks. Either way, you'd have to clean twice. But New Cinch gets the grease and the streaks, even on glass. Don't clean it twice, cinch it once.
Through the years, you've never let me down. You've turned my life around. The sweetest days I've found with you. Through the years.
From dishwashers to refrigerators, a KitchenAid will last.
Through the years.
The KitchenAid appliances you've been wanting now come with special values on selected models.
Through the years.
Low prices at Grand Union. Progresso soup, $1.19. Low prices at Grand Union. Edie's ice cream, $1.99 with coupon. Low prices at Grand Union.
AT&T tonight says you will soon be calling a computer rather than an operator. The telephone giant says it will eliminate as many as 6,000 operators in the next 2 years. Their jobs will be taken over by voice recognition devices which can place, collect calls, and do other things on your command. The company says it will try to offer human operators other jobs. But humans may be taking their revenge. The computer virus called Michelangelo has been found in House and Senate computers in Washington, and it's also in at least 500 terminals used by students at the New Jersey Institute of Technology in Hoboken. No one knows who planted Michelangelo, but unless steps are taken to erase the virus, it will start destroying data on Friday, which is Michelangelo's birthday.
Time now for us to check on some of the stories that we are working on for the 6 o'clock edition of Eyewitness News. And for that, we go up to Bill Butel in the newsroom.
Thank you, Ross. Tonight at 6, a family grieves. Something went terribly wrong when a young man was stopped in his car late last night by housing police and bullets flew. We'll have a live report. Also at 6, he is the captain of a wrestling team at his high school, but he'll be wrestling with some very much bigger problems soon. He is charged with selling and using drugs that would make him a better athlete. And our special report.
Oh man, I hope I didn't offend him. Maybe he lives in the inner city project.
How one school is on the cutting edge, fighting a new problem at college, a high-tech way to battle racism and hatred on campus. All this and a good deal more next on Eyewitness News at 6, coming up in about 20 minutes from now. I'll be here. I hope you are too. Now back to Roz and Greg in the studios.
Thank you, Bill. One of the biggest parent traps is trying to figure out the right way to control your misbehaving child. Tonight, in his special report on becoming a better parent, our child psychologist, Dr. Lawrence Balter, offers some answers. Larry.
Thanks, Roz. You know, the term discipline implies a couple of things. It usually brings to mind punishment, but that should play only a minor role. Discipline should really mean protecting and guiding a child, all part of becoming a better parent.
Oh, come here. Why do you spit in his face? Cut it out now, all right? Stop it, Matthew.
Some days I talk to them and it's like I'm talking to the wall.
Stop it, all right?
And if I'm tired, it's a lot worse.
Put it.
Well, he started it. They fight a lot. So when they're fighting, it gets on my nerves because I can't take the screaming sometimes.
Meet Michelle Chinque, mother of 3 rambunctious boys. Tony, 8, Marcus, who's almost 6, and Mr. Constant Motion, 3-year-old Matthew. Anthony Chinque was at work on the day we visited. They seem to know exactly how to drive their mother to the edge.
I threatened Matthew. We beat each other up, don't eat our dinner. We spend our whole day in front of the TV.
Some events are particularly difficult for Michelle to tolerate.
Especially when we're out and they're a pain in the neck. You know. Trying to stay calm most of the time without screaming too much. Usually, the one who gives me the problem is the youngest one when we're out. He starts yelling and I get embarrassed, and then I just leave.
It's okay to raise your voice to express dissatisfaction, but constant yelling is useless and tends to escalate.
They're so used to me yelling now, they don't, it doesn't make a difference, even though they tell me that they don't like it.
Family conferences are useful for older children. Kids who help make the rules tend to stick to them.
I'm not going to go.
Children should be told ahead of time what's expected of them and reminded about the consequences for infractions. And be sure to follow through on your rules. If you have to punish, be sure it fits the crime and is immediate. Timeout is a popular but often misunderstood technique. In Michelle's house, timeout means the kids are sent to their rooms to cool off. I don't consider it to be a teaching technique. It's just what its name implies, a moment for parent and child to step out of a situation and to cool down. Don't expect timeouts to remedy a problem or to result in a change in behavior.
For me, I think it just works to give them a chance to be away from whatever they were in so that they can get themselves back together. It doesn't necessarily mean they won't do it again, though.
Be sure your expectations are not too great for the child to live up to.
I guess the point with the discipline is that they'll have respect for me and they won't talk back to me. They'll do what I ask them to do with the least amount of problem.
Now, I believe corporal punishment and other painful discipline is really not a good idea. Hitting just conveys a loss of control on your part, and it teaches a child that might makes right. The best thing, a firm, flexible approach. That's the way to go. Greg, Ross.
All right, thanks, Larry. Well, some might say Liz Taylor lacked discipline when it came to marriage, but that's not stopping her from sharing her marital fantasy. We'll have that story.
Plus, we will look back at the movie roles which propelled Taylor into stardom. It's Joel Siegel's Look Back at Liz, and it's next on Eyewitness News.
The cocaine comes down, they take the money, they buy guns, they traffic the guns back up to New York.
Tonight at 11, senior correspondent John Johnson goes undercover into the dangerous underworld of gun trafficking.
Are you buying guns? What are you doing? Nothing.
These are guns that are used to kill people.
Plus, exclusive undercover pictures of what happened when Eyewitness News tracked suspected runners.
Turn your camera off. You're out of here. Leave.
And exclusive reports, gun running, the New York-Virginia connection. Tonight at 11, right here on Channel 7.
Maytag presents the Savings Bond Spectacular.
Stampede's more like it.
Buy a Maytag washer and get a $50 U.S. savings bond.
All these people.
Buy a Maytag dryer and get a $50 savings bond.
Phew, I'd be safer out on the freeway.
Buy a Maytag Jet Clean dishwasher for just $3.99. Get factory savings on Maytag ranges and get Maytag refrigerators with the best warranty in the business.
Oh, peace at last.
PC Richard & Son, all stores. Itoro Appliance, Norwalk, Connecticut.
With the highest resale value in its class and proven Honda reliability, the Accord truly is a safe place to put your money.
Ask about the new Accord leasing program at your Tri-Honda dealer.
The American Impressions Collection by Ethan Allen. Just because you don't have a lot of money to throw around doesn't mean you have to live with disposable furniture.
Watch Wheel of Fortune tonight at 7:30 right here on Channel 7.
Elizabeth Taylor caused quite a stir today with an unexpected confession. She appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show to tell all, and she did, admitting her ultimate fantasy. Taylor says she dreams of dressing up as a French maid and then visiting her husband's construction site to serve him finger sandwiches.
Well, well, Liz Taylor recently marked her 60th birthday and nearly 50 years in the entertainment business. Tonight, Joel Siegel takes a look at Liz and her career. Joe?
Greg, she might be the last movie star. She has been a star literally all my life. She made 20 movies by the time she was 20 years old, and she's such a star it's easy to forget she's also an excellent actress. At the peak of her career, before her personal life dragged her acting down, she won 2 Oscars and was one of the best actresses there was. But she started off a winner. She was just 12 when she made National Velvet, the film that made her a star, and the last time anybody confused her with Othello. At 18, Spencer Tracy gave her away in the original Father of the Bride. An MGM contract player on their patented movie star track, the studio made her a star before she became a fine actress, but she did. Critics first took her seriously in films like Giant, and she won her first Oscar for Butterfield 8. She won her second for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, the peak of her acting career.
I haven't been able to see you for years.
And try to keep your clothes on, too. There aren't many more sickening sights in this world than you with a couple of drinks and you and your skirt up over your head.
A 0.
Your heads, I should say.
A great performance, but no matter how great she is, her acting is outshined by her stardom. Cleopatra, still the most expensive movie ever made, $130,1992. But Liz Taylor is such a star, the film eventually made money. By the 70s, her private life a mess. Films became fewer, but still The Mirror Cracked has some of my favorite Liz Taylor lines.
Lola, dear, you know there are really only 2 things I dislike about you. Really? What are they? Your face.
In the 80s, most of her work has been on television, where she co-starred with yours truly in a hotel episode on ABC. She played an actress making a comeback, and I gave her a rave review.
Welcome back, Kate. You are simply grand. I'm Joel Siegel in San Francisco.
Aw, why doesn't she look any older? The first time I was introduced to Liz Taylor, she gave me this look. I knew him from somewhere. I hope I wasn't married to him. But when I met her on the hotel set, she was gracious and charming. People who know her terrific sense of humor, and I stand by my rave review. Proof, Giant, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof with Paul Newman, Place in the Sun, and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, all available on video. And if you have kids, take home National Velvet, watch it with the whole family. It is still a winner, and so is she.
Staying power. Joel, thanks. Well, speaking of longevity, wouldn't it be wonderful if this warm weather lasted through the weekend? Yes, it would. Sam Champion's up next with his 5-day forecast.
But warm is something not wanted for this cool competition. We will show you what's nice in ice. That's next in the Eyewitness Newsreel.
This mysterious mailing from New York Telephone changed my life. Watch. First, I lost Monique. She was beautiful and French, but insanely jealous.
Busy signals. You were on the phone with another woman.
Then I lost Natasha.
Norman, I can't stop thinking about you. Call me at 8.
Then I got this in the mail saying I could get call answering, the new voice messaging service from New York Telephone. Oh, hi. It takes messages even while you're on the phone, so people can leave a message anytime. Love you, Mom. No answering machine can do that. That means I got a message.
If you get this special mailing, you too can get new call answering. Call now.
Norman, it's Bernice. You said you'd call.
Isn't love wonderful?
Call today for call answering. Do it now. Call 1-800-MESSAGE.
New York Telephone.
It's the last day for super savings at Siemens Super Sale. Only Siemens brings you store-wide savings this big. Super sale prices on every item in every Siemens showroom. And when you use our bonus coupon, take an extra 10% off our entire stock of upholstered furniture. And an extra 10% off all items in our Super Sale Circular. To get your 10% off coupon, pick up our circular at any Siemens showroom. It's the last day, so hurry. All Siemens stores are open till midnight tonight.
See for yourself.
Siemens Super Sale.
Say Siemens first.
The most celebrated film of all time.
Yeah, right.
Wayne's World. Siskel and Ebert call it completely original.
I was not aware of that.
2 thumbs up.
We're not worthy.
And the Washington Post agrees.
Thank you.
Hilariously funny. As easily digestible as a bag of Cheetos.
Pardon me. Do you have any Grey Poupon?
So don't be the last one in America to see Wayne's World. Rated PG-13, now playing at theaters everywhere.
An Illinois family is throwing quite a party this week. A mother and her 3 children all share the same March 2nd birthday. Christine Rule says she just wanted winter pregnancies and couldn't believe the result. The odds of a woman having 3 babies on her own birthday are about 49 million to 1.
Hey, try again. Maybe it'll happen again.
Maybe.
Who knows? Hey, great day to be outside today. Some kids, though, from Elmhurst, Queens, decided to spend it here at Channel 7 from the Louis Armstrong Middle School, so hello to them. And although it wasn't the best day to be indoors, I don't guess, because it was awfully nice outside.
Beautiful outside. And I think we can hang on to the pleasant and kind of warm weather for another 24 hours until the clouds start moving in. And then we've got some cloud problems for a while. Let's take a look at the numbers first. We'll start with what goes on tonight. Under mostly clear skies, it's going to allow all the heat we built up today to just kind of rush back up into the atmosphere and leave us with cool temperatures. 39 degrees is what we're talking about in town, 34 to 35 out toward the island. Coastline numbers like 33 degrees, Connecticut shoreline, and down Jersey Shore about 40 degrees. Inland numbers taking 30 to 32. Generally the range. So there are some numbers below freezing. It is kind of a cool and chilly night out there, particularly north and west of the city. But tomorrow, we stay with some warm numbers. Here's what happens. We've got one drifting front that's just going to run a little bit to the north of us. It will eventually drop down. I think by Thursday night, this front gets a little bit to the south of us and then drops back up or lifts back up by Friday afternoon. So we are, by Thursday night into Friday and on into Saturday, going to play the front dance with this thing and never really release the clouds. But tomorrow, they should be far enough for the first part of the day. We get a good amount of sunshine in here. Numbers really heat up to 58 degrees. It's a beautiful day, but by afternoon, you'll notice these clouds start to squeeze in for the first time. You'll see them a couple of days after that. For a while, it looks like. There's that area of high pressure. It's not that strong, so when it leaves, it will quickly allow these clouds to get in, and that's by about midday. You'll start noticing some high clouds streak in. They're coming from this low that is kind of spinning off a little bit, well, north of Oklahoma. What's going on with this thing now is it gets a big draw of moisture up from the Gulf and just continues to spin and spin and churn until it gets to be a big storm to be dealt with in the middle part of the nation tomorrow. AccuWeather 5-day plan, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Your forecast days. Tomorrow's a very nice day. Early sunshine, a few late clouds, 58 degrees. Friday, I think we keep the clouds around for a while and a little bit of drizzle Friday night and more rain on Saturday.
Close to 60. How about that?
Not bad.
Thank you, Sam. A postal present, a Grand Prix race, a freezing cold creation that would probably do just well in here, and an environmental education, all on today's Eyewitness Newsreel. Let's roll it. Education may be the solution to end pollution. Newsreel knows it definitely can't hurt. Today, students at the Brunswick School in Greenwich, Connecticut learned how to keep the environment clean. Let's hope we all learn that lesson. Folks can follow a shining example of sharing. Postal Service workers in Newark today made a special delivery. Employees donated 6 tons of food to the Newark Community Bank. Newsreel salutes them for sending their care package postmarked with love. Something special is heading to the Big Apple, the Marlboro Grand Prix of New York. Newsreel hit the road to show you the path these cars will take. The race runs along West Street to Lower Manhattan, around the World Trade Center. There's plenty of time to rev up your motor. The race doesn't begin until June of 1993. Another contest, only this one never heated up, for fear they'd lose their contest entries. Folks entered in an ice sculpture contest in Washington, D.C., proudly displaying their frozen assets. The winning team will keep their work on ice to submit it to a national ice carving classic later in Chicago. So good luck and so long for today's Eyewitness Newsreel.
Coming up, they are considered perfect examples of feline-inity.
Perfect, because there are dozens of cats. The rare and the unusual are preparing for a catty competition right here in New York City. That story is next on Eyewitness News.
She's happy with her engagement ring now, but before she found it, 2 separate jewelers sold her stones that weren't all they were cracked up to be.
They inject the stone with silicone.
Ever heard of such a thing? Her story will shock you at 6 right here on Channel 7.
New project?
Yes, I'm in the process of choosing a dentist.
Have you called 1-800-DENTIST?
You can't get this kind of information from just one phone call. I've surveyed every dentist in a 3.5-mile radius, compiled data on their schooling, years in practice, special training, and I've narrowed it down to exactly who you just got from 1-800-DENTIST.
Find out for yourself how easy it can be. Call 1-800-DENTIST today.
There you go.
Where are we, Dad?
Grandpa used to take me to this same field.
Grandpa did?
Yep.
Remember the feeling the first time you saw an airplane fly? At US Air, we do.
Everything we do, US Air begins with you.
Thanks to our home equity loan from Statewide Capital, we lowered our monthly expenses by consolidating our bills.
1-800-DIAL-CASH.
Thanks to our home equity loan from Statewide Capital, we were able to open our own business.
1-800-DIAL-CASH.
1-800-DIAL-CASH. For years, homeowners have been calling us for fast, simple home equity loans. I'm John Green for Statewide Capital. We make borrowing money easy, even if you've been turned down by the bank or have past credit problems. So remember, Statewide Capital lends money fast. Call 1-800-DIAL-CASH.
Hello.
Hi. How you doing?
Fine.
I didn't wake you, did I?
No. Who is this?
Come on, you know.
Do I know you from school?
No. But I'd like to know you better. What are you doing now?
Checking your number, Mr. 555-2630.
Protect yourself from unwanted calls with caller ID. Order now and the service connection is free.
The claws are going to be out this week as finicky felines converge on Manhattan for the International Cat Show. David Navarro says these rare and exotic competitors are considered the cat's meow.
I'm too sexy for my cat. Too sexy for my cat.
It is for many the cat world's most talked about singles weekend all year. For 3 days starting on Friday, more than 1,000 felines will walk the walk and talk the talk at the 8th International Cat Show in Madison Square Garden. But for the cats, the competition, the lectures, and the silly games are all just a big bore. No, for many of these crazy cats, the show is their big chance to find true romance.
He would love to meet a nice young lady, if you have one.
Some of the cats hope a hot set of wheels will turn heads in their direction, while others spared no expense at the beauty parlor. For breeders, the show can be an opportunity to keep a line strong, but for the cats, well, let's just say it beats getting your stomach rubbed.
Well, this cat, in fact, is in heat, and that's why she's making so much noise, because she's calling for a boy. So I guess it could be a big singles weekend.
Past matings have produced such unique offsprings as this beautiful cat. This is called a Tonkinese breed, and it's a combination between the Siamese and Burmese cats. And as you can see by its aquamarine eyes, it's quite irresistible.
Basically, what you're doing is you are studying pedigrees of the other cats, and then you're looking at the cats to see what, for instance, their head type is like, what their ear set is like.
But if you want to breed your feline with one of the better-known cats at the show, you better bring a big checkbook, because a toss in the hay with, let's say, Battle Him here will cost you $500 a mating. Oh well, no one ever said love is cheap. Reporting in Midtown, David Navarro, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
And that's Eyewitness News at 5. Thanks for tuning in. For Roz Abrams, Sam Champion, and the rest of the Eyewitness News team, I'm Greg Hurst.
The news continues now with Bill Butel.
Thank you, Roz and Greg. Tonight, a family mourns for its son because something went terribly wrong when he was stopped by housing police, and it all ended with bullets and tragedy. Also, celebrities show up at the trial of John Gotti today as Sammy the Bull Gravano details a dozen murders he and Gotti were involved in. And he is the captain of his high school wrestling team, but now he could be down for the count. A young man charged with selling and using a drug that would make him a better wrestler. Plus our special report on campus hate, how high-tech technology is being used to fight bigotry and racism at one university. And the diamond you own may be worth a little bit less than you think it is. We'll tell you why. All this and a good deal more next on Eyewitness News.
Come and explore Art Expo's international offerings of contemporary and traditional paintings, sculptures, prints, and more. Plus images, affair within affair for originals and limited editions. All in a stylish new setting at the Jacob Javits Convention Center, New York City. Saturday, March 7th through Monday, March 9th. Call 212-216-2000 for information. Art Expo is the world of art under one roof. Art Expo.
With non-stop service to more cities across the Atlantic than any U.S. airline, Delta now makes it easier than ever for the people of New York to get to know the people of Europe.
Buongiorno.
Bonjour.
Fia.
Guten Tag.
Ritzy. Delta, we love to fly and it shows.
Здравствуйте. Now, a coast-to-coast savings event, the biggest in our history. Announcing the National Jeep Sale at your Jeep and Eagle dealer. Save over $2,900 on the rugged Jeep Cherokee, or up to $900 on the freedom-loving Jeep Wrangler. Now, the vehicles that fit in anywhere fit even better into your budget. So hurry in today, because while our vehicles know no limits, our sales do.
Get the advantage at your